Hey guys, Rich from Richmond Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well and welcome to this another Star Wars Shatterpoint video. And whilst this character was partly spoiled or revealed during Adepticon, we've now got the full data bank download for her. It is of course Ashoka Tano, Jedi No More. And going through this with me is Mr. Quinn Duggan. Quinn, how the hell are you doing, sir?
What's the matter? Too fast for you?
Ooh. Too fast for you? Quinn, and we're going to go through this article because it raises questions.
It does.
And somewhat contradicts some of the information that we learnt from Adepticon.
Are you going to be punished for doubting the Oracle once more?
Obviously, we got a lot of information. We had, between me, you, Ron, we had lots of people over there who we knew. They were feeding us information back all the time. There was videos that were taken. There was the official stream from AMG, and we kind of pieced all of that together, didn't we? I think overall we did a pretty good job. But one thing has popped up, so we'll get into that. But before we do, let's go into the rest of her breakdown. So, databank download, Ahsoka Tano, Jedi No More. Having broken with the order that broke their faith with her, the subject of our second Star Wars Shatterpoint unit preview is none other than Ahsoka Tano, Jedi No More. Yeah, I mean, we've had full Anakin as well, haven't we? Yeah.
Anakin was first, then it was Ventress, then it was
So, okay. Somebody's made a mistake there. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but I do want to bring. In fact, let's just talk about the model. I like the paint job. I like the model. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is the face that they've done for this one.
Yeah, the face is weird.
It's the recesses, the eyes. They're too dark, aren't they? For me.
Yeah, they've gone too dark around the eyes. Also, this is an issue that I found with both the paint job and the art. Is they've done her lips the wrong colour.
I don't know what colour her lips are meant to be.
Her lips are typically dark in the Clone Wars.
Oh, okay.
So
okay. I mean, they did say, didn't they? Because if you look at, if you watch Mandalorian, obviously, so we've seen Ahsoka in there. They did say, didn't they, that whilst it's easier because these characters that were live action, there's animated versions of them in the Clone Wars. It's not just a direct rip-off of the Clone Wars, is it? It's not just that style, but it's heavily influenced by. So I gather that's kind of okay, but I mean, the nice thing is that there's nothing wrong with the model, is there?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the image I've just sent you, you'll see what I mean.
I'll have a look. Let me have a quick look. But yeah, overall, Quinn, happy with her model, with her stance.
Yeah, I think the
double lightsabers.
Ahsoka, she does a lot of the whole crouchy, fighty, stuff. What's the headdress called?
I don't know.
Because it's not a Leku, because that's the Twi'lek thing.
Yeah, that's the Twi'lek thing. I can't remember.
She's a Togruta. Is it a headdress? It's not a headdress, is it?
It's her actual head, right?
It looks like a headdress because there's always things around it.
Yeah, no, they do decorate them, don't they?
But yeah,
it's her actual. It's it's hair, isn't it, for them? I suppose fleshy hair.
Ooh, flesh hair.
But yeah, let's scroll down, Quinn, and let's have a quick look at just this one line here. So, while attacking her companions has the potential to trigger her identity ability, Fierce Protector, allowing her to close the distance with the enemy and strike back, or support other units with some crucial healing to turn the tide. Now we'll get into this in a second, but keep that in your mind, guys, as we then take a look through the rest of her card. So, Ahsoka Tano, Jedi No More. Obviously, she is Ahsoka Tano. She is a primary unit, and there is a single character in this unit. For anyone that was wondering what they were, that's what that means. So you'll see on the B1s, Quinn, won't you, that there'll be 2 there, even though there's 6 models on the bases. It's all very confusing.
It's how many bases are in the unit, not necessarily
yeah.
how many models.
Exactly that, yeah. She is going to bring 8 squad points. Now, again, I want to reiterate this because I've seen this a few times on Facebook. I've seen other people, other content creators even, complaining about the core box not being balanced.
Name and shame. Name and shame.
I'm not going to name and shame anyone, but there is 2 ways in which characters are balanced from a let's call it a resource perspective, Quinn, right? What you get to spend. Because there's 2 things you get to spend. One of them is on squad building. The other one is Will of the Force, or as it's now colloquially known, Force of the Wills. So Ahsoka brings 8 squad points. That means for your secondary and your support unit, you can spend, we believe, up to, but we haven't had that confirmed yet, but we believe up to 8 points in total. So if we look at Bo-Katan and we look at the Night Out, Clan Kryze, they are 4 points each. She brings 8 squad points, so you can bring that support and that secondary unit with her. Anakin, on the other hand, only brings 7 squad points. He also brings 4 Will of the Forces, or Force of the Wills. So Anakin couldn't bring both Bo-Katan and the Clan Kryze Mandalorians with him because he doesn't have enough squad points. So that's the way in which these units are balanced. It's all to do with the primary unit and what they can and can't bring. Quinn, anything else to add on that? But it's fairly straightforward, isn't it?
Just like an example way of maybe recontextualizing it for people who still are maybe a little bit confused is basically imagine every squad, so primary, secondary, support, they all cost the same number of points.
Let's say 20
points, yeah,
to make it
like
easy.
What squad points and points contribute and points cost sort of represent is how many of those points each of the characters in that squad is like taking up. Yeah. So Anakin costs 7. The lower cost of primary is, the more expensive they are because you have less to spend on everyone else. That's representing Anakin as an individual model, taking up more of your allotment of your overall squad, and therefore not allowing you to bring as much with the rest of your squad, right?
Exactly that, yeah. So Anakin is 1 squad point more powerful than Ahsoka. Therefore, Ahsoka gets to bring more. That's the easiest way of looking at it, isn't it? That's the way that it's balanced. So when you add up the points of everything, they're going to be slightly different because there is no points cost for your primary units. But that's the way that they work. And then, as we mentioned, then she brings three Wills of the Force, or indeed Force of the Wills, with her. So let's have a look at her card then. So first of all, active ability, Force speed, spend 1 Force power. I think we're just going to call them Force powers, Quinn, aren't we? That's going to be the general term for them. Each character in this unit may advance long. Or a standard advance, let's call it, which, as we've already discussed, Quinn, out of action movement is going to be important in this game because you can only make 1 move action, because we know that you can only use each of the actions once per turn. It's also worth saying as well, isn't it, that you can only use a active and reactive ability once per turn as well, unless otherwise specified, as we saw on Asaja's card. So Force speed, and it feels like I think every character's had it so far, haven't they? Where every Force character is going to have something like this, which is Force something. We've seen jump, we've seen Force speed, we've seen Force push as well. I think Asajj has, didn't she?
Dathomirian weirdness.
Dathomirian, yeah. So yeah. Pretty good, one of your Force powers for that is pretty good, and I imagine, I imagine, Quinn, for primary characters in particular, using an action to move, unless you need to double move, is going to be not something that's very common. I'm going to say maybe round one. Or there is no rounds, but maybe their first activation of the game, it's something you do. But outside of that, I feel like most of the movement is going to come from the combat trees and force speed and those sorts of things. She's got 2 reactive abilities. The first one is, what's the matter? Too fast for you? It's costing 2. It's going to be when a character in this unit would suffer damage from a melee attack. This unit may use this ability. The unit suffers half the damage in the damage pool. The attacking unit suffers the remaining damage. Wow.
Pretty damn good.
Like, just wow. Now we expect here, don't we, that if it's 7 damage incoming, Ahsoka's going to take 4, and the other half, with being 3, goes to the character that attacked. But this is pretty good, Quinn. Like
It's like mega deflect.
I mean, even just without the second part of that, which is the attacking unit suffers the damage.
Just take half damage.
Just mitigating half of your damage that comes in for spending 2 is pretty damn good. And the nice thing, Quinn, is although the force points are a pool, she has 3. She can only do. I mean, I suppose what's the matter too fast for you can be used multiple times potentially. If she gets attacked multiple times by multiple characters.
To be fair, if someone's attacking Ahsoka multiple times, they need their head checked.
They probably need their head checked.
You don't go near Ahsoka at all. You leave her alone. She does what she wants to do. You do not hit that woman.
Well, and then people may be thinking, Quinn, well, that's fine. We're just going to shoot her. Shoot her! The old Jurassic Park scene at the beginning. But her other reactive ability is deflect. After a ranged attack targeting a character in this unit is resolved, this unit may use this ability. If the attack roll contained 1 or more failure results, the attacking unit suffers 2 damage. So even shooting her at range is still going to hurt you, because that's just the kind of gal she is. Quinn, both of those pretty powerful. Definitely act as a deterrent, I would say.
They definitely, give shape to her identity, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then her identity, which is I did, yeah. So identities are a special type of ability that only, or at least initially, only primary units are going to have. And you can liken them, Quinn, can't you, to a leadership ability. From the ones we've seen so far, it's a big thing that's kind of character defining for them, isn't it? So she has Fierce Protector. When an enemy character wounds, so just to clarify, to wound a character, if we look at Ahsoka here, she has 9 stamina. You need to put 9 damage tokens on that character. So however many damage tokens it is for the other character, but when an enemy character wounds another allied unit, so it won't work on her, after the effect is resolved, 1 character in this unit may move, so that's going to be a full move, toward the enemy character that caused the effect. And we did see, didn't we, on stream, I think it was Will, and he did use the tools, and he did open them up at a 90-degree angle, so we assume that that's what towards is going to be in this game as well. Then, the character that moved may heal. We'll come back to that in a second. Or, if that character is engaged with the enemy character, to clarify again, to be engaged, you need to be within range 2 of an enemy. It may make a 5 dice attack targeting that enemy character. So she gets a couple of options there, doesn't she, in terms of what she can do. She's always going to get the move, and then she can choose to heal, or she can choose to do an attack. And when she does an attack, you use the normal tree that you would normally do in the normal way. But Quinn, I want to bring you back to those 3 heal symbols, because we were led to believe, and we were told not by one person either, I want to say, we were told by, I think each of us were told by different people, and I had at least 3 people telling me this, This is the same symbol, and we'll just scroll down a second and show you her cards. But this is the same symbol that appears on the stance cards, that little heal symbol there. It's also the same symbol that is the stamina pool. Now, Quinn, me, you and Ron all had a difference of opinion with this. You thought it was going to be a full recover action, didn't you? Which means a recover action is you can either heal or remove one special condition from yourself. So heal one or remove a special condition from yourself.
Because the wording that they put in the article was the recover action allows you to heal, which is either remove a damage or remove a condition.
Or remove a condition, yeah. So healing...
Heal an ally, yeah, it's very silly.
Healing is either removing one damage or removing one special condition from yourself, and this is the big trigger, or an ally character... Sorry, yeah, an allied unit within range 2. Why does that change things now? Well, if we scroll back up, Quinn, or support other units with some crucial healing to turn the tide. Now, what I will say, Quinn, is as we've learnt from MCP, the fluff around some of these reveals is not always accurate in terms of...
The wording of the articles does not necessarily represent how things actually work.
Yeah, exactly that.
And I did put that caveat in when I saw this and put it in the group chat. I was like, yeah, we typically ignore the articles, but maybe.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see, guys, on that one. We'll need some confirmation from AMG. It can't be far away from the rules book now, right? Wow. It can't be far off. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what that is. But this article is leading us to believe. Now, it could be, Quinn, that it is just a remove damage. It may be that it's not a remove special condition. So it's not a full heal or a full recover action. It's just the damage part of it, because it is that symbol, isn't it? It is the same symbol that the stamina pool is. But yeah, we will have to wait and see on that one. So let's take a look then, Quinn, at her first stance card. So again, just to clarify to everyone, they have said that every single primary character in the game is going to have a double-sided stance card. So you can see here that we've got Jakai for Ahsoka on one side, and then on the other side we've got the Form 5 Shien reverse grip. Let's start with the Jakai, and I think, Quinn, as well, they did confirm, didn't they, on stream, that a stance can be chosen at the beginning of the game, so you get to choose which one you start in, and at any point during that character's activation, unless it has just rolled dice and is yet to still resolve everything, they can switch that stance once, can't they? So they can start in their aggressive and then switch to their defensive, maybe, if they're the first character you activate or something like that. So let's go through what she's got. Excuse me. We'll leave the combat tree until the very end, but obviously no ranged abilities, Quinn, on her. She's going to be rolling 5 defense dice, so not a lot, but let's not forget that she just goes, screw you, I'm only taking half. She's going to have... Screw you guys. She's going to have 7 attack dice for melee and 5 defense dice for melee as well. Her expertise is going to be lightsabers and acrobatics. Obviously, lightsabers being the melee, acrobatics being the defensive. For 1 to 2, she's going to get 2 extra strikes. From 3 to 4, she's going to get 2 crits. And then for 5 or more, she's going to get 3 crits. Remembering that each one of those symbols that you roll, so adding up the expertise roll plus what you roll on the dice, allows you to move X number of ways along the combat tree. But crits can't be blocked, Quinn. So the crits are the ones that you're looking for. There's only 1 in 8 chance of getting them on each die. So with the 7 attack dice, with what she's got on the lightsabers, Quinn, she's got a good chance to get a fair number of successes off, hasn't she?
I reckon between 2 and 3. Like it's very dependent who she's hitting.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Like she's no Anakin. Let's put it this way.
She is no Anakin. No. Let's talk about that combat tree then. So the way that and go watch the other video I did. I did a video breaking down exactly how this was going to work. But basically, you add up the successes and you get to move along the combat tree, and then you get to resolve each of those things in turn. And we actually now know what all of these are, Quinn, don't we? Which is quite nice. So you can see that first point there is going to be 2 damage. That's the damage symbol there. And this damage, by the way, can't be blocked. This is the end result of the roll. So 2 damage. Next one is going to be a damage and a disarm. If you disarm a character, the next attack they make, they do not count their expertise in there, so they lose access to that expertise tree. So pretty good to put on a big character there, Quinn. She then does 3 damage, which I think is the most I've seen on a single one. I've not seen 4 symbols.
I've not seen 4 damage. It's possible. Like there's enough room in the boxes.
There is.
I mean, that maybe being something that Vader does.
I was going to say, I feel like 4 is the maximum, isn't it, that we're going to be able to get in these boxes. And then you get a choice. So what are your choices? Well, if you go along the top tree, you're going to apply a strain condition on your opponent. Now, a strain condition basically means the next, if they don't remove it, the next attack or the next move action that character makes, as they make that, they are going to suffer 3 damage, which is pretty brutal, plus a damage as well, and then finishing it off with 2 damage. So the top tree, Quinn, not very mobile. No additional movement in there whatsoever. Bottom tree, however, we do have, is it pin? This one, I think.
Pin.
Pin. Forget the terminology of them, but pin, which basically means they can't move. Caveat this one, Quinn, because we don't yet know if it's they can't make a move action, do we?
Or whether they can't do any form of movement, right?
The second one being brutal, because there's a lot of movement in this game.
And it's very important as well, just how the game works.
Huge, absolutely huge. And then finishing it off, we have a shove. Now, a shove is pushing the target character away range 1, and should you choose, you can also do a range. You can also push yourself range 1 towards the target as well. So really nice for pushing somebody off a point and getting yourself onto that point, or maybe even just keeping them within melee range, meaning that if they try and run away, they're going to be they're gonna struggle to do so. Acrobatics then, Quinn, 1 to 2, it's going to be an extra block, plus she gets to turn one of her opponent's crits into a strike. Why is that important? Well, we did just mention that you can't block crits. So if you turn one of those crits into a strike, it then becomes another blockable result. 2 blocks for 3 to 4, plus the change the crit. She also gets to make a jump action as well. And then for 5 plus, 2 blocks again, it's going to be the same dice modification, plus the jump, plus a heal 1. Whatever it may be, we don't yet know. Quinn, this is definitely the more offensive side of her build, isn't it? The Jakai. What's your overall thoughts on this and how it'll be used in the game?
I think a lot of the time with most characters, you're not really looking towards the top end of their tree. Just based on how the dice is going to work, majority of times you're probably going to get the first 2, maybe 3 results.
2 or 3 feels like it's going to be average for the primary characters at least. Doesn't
so, like looking at those first 3 results, 6 damage and a disarm is pretty damn good for just a general attack action, right? For a character that isn't meant to be offensive, right? That's not really Ahsoka's whole bag, right? But disarm can be really, really strong against a number of characters. I mean, Anakin in particular, going from I rolled 2 expertise, I've got 2 crits, to I've rolled 2 expertise, they've done nothing.
You've done nothing.
And like against a lot of characters, that's actually gonna, primaries at least, that's going to make it so rather than it being 6 out of 8 faces on the die being positive, it's now 4 out of 8.
Yeah.
That's
Which
a
is
big
huge.
swing.
Yeah, it really is.
You're reducing their output by roughly a third. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty damn good. I would very much like to put that condition out on people.
I think stacking conditions feels like it feels like special conditions are going to play such a major part in this game, doesn't it? And there's going to be lots of things going on with them. It is worth pointing out with special conditions that you don't lose anything. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you attack a character who is already disarmed, and Ahsoka gets 2 successes, so you go, okay, well she's lost one here because that other disarm was worthless. It just turns into a damage. So I like that, Quinn. I do like the fact that, each of the... I see this as like these combat trees as being like, each one of them is a different movement, isn't it? A part of that back and forth combat. And I like the fact that there's something in there to say that, okay, she's doing 2 damage with her first lightsaber swing. Then she's, grabbing the blaster pistol out of somebody's hand.
Yeah, she's like
damaging
the forearm at the right point, and
and
gone like that.
But if they're already got that, well, she doesn't need to do that part of it, so she just then focuses in on the damage. So
hangs them across the face.
Just shows them the hairy side and just slaps them out of the way. So yeah, really like that one. Let's take a quick look then at the other side of her card, Quinn. So this is going to be the Form 5 Shien Reverse Grip. So we'll go through the main parts again. So once again, no ranged attacks, but she's upgrading her dice from 5 to 7 defense
7
dice.
Ranged defense dice is obscene.
Like, absolutely
Because
brutal.
also, there's potential against ranged attacks to have cover and things like that. That number can very easily get very high.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For her melee, she's going to have 6, so she does drop 1, but she does gain 1 on the defensive side of things as well. So 7 defense and then 6 attack, 6 defense for melee. Feels like a pretty balanced character from that standpoint. She doesn't change her expertise, so it's still lightsabers and it is still acrobatics, and every single one of them is the same in terms of what she gains, with the exception of the 5+ on the lightsabers. However, what she needs to get them changes ever so slightly. So this time it's 1 to 3 is going to be 2 extra strikes, and then she's going to need 4 to get those 2 crits. It's quite a big jump, isn't it? That actually, 1 extra expertise.
The results aren't identical. Her top end is ever so slightly worse.
No, I said apart from what she gets on a 5+, yeah. So yeah, 4 for 2 crits and then 5+ for 2 crits plus a strike, as you pointed out, Quinn, rather than the 3. So this is there to reflect the fact that she's in a more balanced or maybe slightly more defensive stance, right?
Yeah.
That is just what it's there for. Let's have a quick look at her tree, and this is where we see the big difference. What I like about this, Quinn, is she's guaranteed a push. As long as she gets 1 success, right?
I mean, that is kind of a big if with 6 dice and rather crappy expertise.
Yeah, I think you're likely to get 1. And you do always need to get 1. So it's not a case of that you start at 0 and that's your first one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 moves you up. 1 gets you on the tree, doesn't it, Quinn? So you need that first success.
Start on the ground, then you get on the tree.
So, yeah, a push and a damage. So I do like that. Let's run along the top as we did last time. So she's going to start with 2 heals. Again, we don't 100% know what this could be. This article leads us to believe that can be anyone within range 2. She's then going to get another shove and another damage. Then she's going to get a jump and 2 damage. Then she's going to get 2 more heals. Now, we mentioned earlier, Quinn, didn't we, about how you resolve each of these actions in turn. And you'll see when it's on the battlefield why that's super important, especially if these heals can be done to other characters and other units. So why is that? Well, you're going to need to be within 2 to do it. So that first push, that first shove that you get could be what gets you into range 2 of somebody else to be able to heal them. Then you get to do another push, potentially, if you move along the tree enough, which can move you another range 1 place forward, or a range 1 push forward. Then you get the jump, and then you get the 2 heals again. So you could end up being quite far away from your opponent, but getting to somebody who needs that help and who needs that assistance.
Or even like helping 2 separate characters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason why you couldn't heal this one here and then go and heal this one here. If it works in that way. Along her bottom, very much more sort of control and damage focused. Yeah. So she's got the jump with the damage. She's got the shove with 2 damage. She's got the pin with 2 damage, and then she's got another shove with 2 damage. Assuming like a pin doesn't stop you being moved at all, because
that'd be pretty good.
That push wouldn't be. Well, no, that second shove would be useless quick.
Oh no, I imagine it'd be like moving of your own volition. Like it's not going to stop you getting bullied.
Yeah. So yeah, far more about getting around the board, doing some things, displacement of characters. I think, just to clarify as well for everyone, all of these shoves and things, they have to be done against the character that you were targeting. Right? They can't be dished out and distributed out, no matter where you move, basically. Acrobatics then, it's just better all round, really, because for 1 result, she's going to get the block and the change.
Yeah, they've all come down by 1, right?
Yeah, so then 2 to 3 rather than 3 to 4 is going to be the second one, and then 4+ rather than the 5+. I mean, dearie me, 4. Look at what she's getting for 4+ there, like that.
7 dice. It's not impossible.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. 6 dice.
7 at range.
7 at range, yeah, and potentially a clapback there as well. So yeah, really interesting. Which of the 2? I mean, when you say which of the 2, they're very much been designed in such a way, haven't they, that you use them both, right? That's the idea of it.
Yeah, I think don't. Oddly enough, they're both defensive in nature. It's just that Jakai is proactive in its defense in terms of going, I'm disarming you, you can't hit me back hard. Whereas, like, Shien is just all-round better in terms of just defensive raw stats.
Yeah, so when you do see them side by side, Quinn, yeah, you can really see the difference, can't you? And what I would say is as well, we really need to find out what those heal symbols do. If it is the what this alludes to,
if it is what the Oracle foretold. Well,
I still don't think it's going to be remove a special condition. I still think it's going to be purely remove 1 damage. But who knows? But yeah, this ability lets you slap back. It actually does name Lord Maul in here as well as like the person that you could slap back against should you wish. And that's really it for Ahsoka. So a very, very different leader, Quinn, to Asajj that we've already seen and broken down. Sorry, primary, not leader. And again, the more I see of this game, the more I cannot wait to get hold of them and get them on the table.
I think of the primaries in the core box, Ahsoka is probably going to be the one with the highest variance in terms of amount of damage dealt over like a number of games. Just because I feel like a lot of her damage is actually dependent on that what's matter too fast for you. Because if people aren't hitting her, she's not doing that reflected damage back, right? But if you can kind of force people to hit her for whatever reason, like, it's going to be really nasty. I think of the 4 in the box, and I imagine this statement holds true for you as well, Ahsoka's probably the one that is least like my playstyle.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I am very much in the camp of our Lord and Saviour, Mr. Maul.
Get that. This is where the fun begins, man.
No. Lord, I'm all about the Lord Maul. My leadership as Lord Maul ignores everybody else and lets me do more damage.
I'll let Sky go, man. You kill his stuff, and he gets your points for it.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. But there we go, guys. That's the breakdown of Ahsoka Tano, Jedi No More. Not to be confused with Quinn, with Ahsoka Tano Padawan. Yeah, I'm super happy with her. I think again, it feels like Ahsoka. And that's, we talk about this in MCP a lot, don't we? It's like, just make the character feel like the character is.
Yeah, we don't necessarily care about like power levels. We just want them to feel right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the power levels in all games have to be balanced, right? And, they've done it with supports and done it with secondaries, but equally, they also have to, balance them out within the character because, there are some characters in the Star Wars universe that are just far too powerful, right? And would just cut through entire squads, let alone entire primaries and secondaries.
Hello, my name is Anakin.
Exactly right. So that's always in there. I think they've done a really good job. And yeah, like I say, just can't wait to get our hands on that core box. And speaking, Quinn, of getting your hands on a core box, what a lovely little segue that was.
Oh wow, you're getting almost as good as me at this.
Getting almost as good as you. We are giving away a Star Wars Shatterpoint core box. So how can you be in a chance of winning? Well, all you need to do is make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. You need to make sure you leave a like on this video and make sure you leave a comment on this video as well. Let us know on this one which of the two stances you think you're going to be starting Ahsoka out in. Or are her lips too light? Either one, just let us know. What we'll then be doing is we'll be picking a video at random. So I would recommend going and checking out all of those other videos and seeing what comments we wanted you to leave in those videos as well. We'll pick a video at random and then we'll pick a comment at random as well. And that one lucky winner will win themselves a Shatterpoint core box, no matter where you are in the world. With all that said and done, it leaves us with just enough time to say stay well, keep safe, and until next time, may the Force be with you.
See you later, Sky Guy.